proceed to the next transparency. Okay, all right. All this notation, I think you know, this sort of thing. All right. Let me go through this first. In here, we have two stages, all right? Stage 1, stage 2. Then in between, there is an intercooler. Some intercooler, as the one we have in our lab or workshop, uses air for cooling, those cooling pins. You realize that? Have you seen those? Cooling pins. In here, I assume it is an industrial one, which is a big one, and therefore we use water. Correct? The temperature, of course, after compression will be high, and therefore we have to pass it through coil, or what we call heat exchangers, and then we circulate cold water in, and then of course the water will take the heat out. Correct? Now, in the ideal situation, the inlet temperature is maintained at the two stages at T1. For example, this temperature is T1, which is atmospheric temperature, ambient temperature, free air, conditioned temperature, etc. Then, of course, when you compress it, the temperature will rise to a certain intermediate temperature Ti, correct? But this Ti definitely will be higher than T1, correct? So we have to cool it down with the intercooler and bring it down to our inlet temperature. And that is the condition we are working. Okay? Alright. Complete intercooling is usually used, and which means temperature at inlet is the same for each stage. This is the inlet first stage. This is the inlet second stage. The temperature is the same, okay, due to the fact that we use intercooling. Alright. Then total work input is work input to stage 1 plus work input to stage 2. Of course, correct. This work 1, work 2. Total work will be work 1 plus work 2. Then from our studies, previous studies, we know that the work is given by this equation for one stage, W n minus n from 1, etc., etc. Then we write the equation for stage 1. Alright, let us see, we go through it. T1, of course, is T1 here, correct? Pi, of course, is this one here, correct? Our P2, in this here, P2 here, will becomes our Pi, correct? Okay, so it is Pi, P1, etc. Then for the next stage, that means this stage, correct? Okay, the same thing here. T1 is of course this inlet temperature, correct? Okay, then P2 is of course this one, Pi is of course that. You are just following this, changing the P2 or changing the P1 to Pi, correct? Okay, then of course that, then you add the two. Alright, that is the equation we arrive at for the total work input to the system for two stages. Alright, I think you can copy this, then we'll proceed further. This little diagram here is our PV diagram for two-stage, for two-stage operation.